Welcome to the 2022 Lancaster Archery Classic here from the Spooky Nook Sports Complex in Manheim, Pennsylvania. I'm Greg White, sitting alongside Linda Ochoa Anderson as we are bringing you the action as we are setting the stage for the Women's Masters Open, which means it's time to get to the third member of our broadcast team, PJ Riley.
All right, here we go for the Women's Masters Open. This is a brand new division for the Lancaster Archery Classic this year. And in its first year, we attracted 18 participants, so it definitely is worth having. And we will bring out our number 4 qualifier, who is Julie Kaufman from Saginaw, Michigan. If you call in on our phone lines, Julie Kaufman works in our customer service department for Lancaster Archery Supply. Our third place qualifier, we have Denise Shirk from Walnutport, Pennsylvania.
All right, so we're back with Women's Masters Open, of course, 50-plus category. And Linda, we looked at each other with Julie Customer Service Kaufman, and we kind of gave each other a smile because it's part of what's great about working at Lancaster Archery Supply. So many people who work there shoot.
I know, how awesome is that? And I love her jersey. It's pretty cool.
It is cool, yeah, it's definitely cool. She, of course, Julie Kaufman in the pink. Interesting, Linda, is we're now seeing our first left-handed shooter of the day.
Well, Mackenzie was left-handed too, I think.
Oh, that's right. Mackenzie was left-handed.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. Earlier on in the day. So Denise Shirk on the left part of your screen and Julie Kaufman on the right. I don't know Julie, but I'd sure like to nickname her customer service Julie. This would be quite an accomplishment. I know that in speaking with some of the people that work at Lancaster Archery Supply who do compete, they put a lot of extra pressure on themselves because they have to deal with their colleagues all year long. So Denise starts us off.
Yeah, we can see they're adjusting their sights. I feel like sometimes shooting from the practice field to the finals venue can make a difference on your sight mark.
Do you think that sometimes, though, it's the nerves of it, that you're pulling maybe a little bit harder or just not quite as much?
It might be that too, but I think it's most of the time maybe the lighting. I think it's different.
Yeah, the lighting is definitely different because even from the practice range, it's just kind of your normal overhead. Here we're more dealing with spotlights. So I did see off camera that Kaufman grabbed a couple of clicks again. Shirk back at anchor. Those beautiful, beautiful veins. I love those feathers, red, white, and blue. This is the first end of 4. Target 18 meters or 20 yards downrange, 40 centimeter target face. We'll call it 3-spot.
10.
Center scoring worth 11 points. Let's get to PJ.
Ladies, let's meet these archers. Denise Shirk, how you doing?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm just fine, thanks. Have you been to the Classic before?
I have. This is my 4th Classic.
4th Classic. Okay, so now Women's Masters Open, that's a new division for us this year. You would have competed in Women's Open before?
I competed in the Men's Open before, in the Pro, since we didn't have a women's division. So I competed with the Men's Pro.
Gotcha. Well, we appreciate you coming back. How's the weekend been going for you so far?
Pretty good for my week. It's a great tournament, and I always love coming back down here.
Well, we certainly appreciate having you, Denise. Thanks for coming by. Julie, we'll get to you next time.
Okay.
They're coming back fast.
So great job by Denise Shirk. So 29-28, Shirk leads over Kaufman. And Denise Shirk here with her boyfriend, Joe. She started archery did Shirk because it was a family activity. And Linda, you had a big smile on your face when she talked about the class that she was competing in before they had Women's Masters Open. Why were you smiling?
How cool is that they have their class now? Like, I think it's just amazing how, and I mean, like, PJ say they have 18 archers in that division this year, so I think they just keep it. They should keep it, and I think it's really cool to see women shooting archery.
Yeah, I think now that the word's going to get out that there is a Women's Masters Open category that more women are going to be interested in, and sometimes it does take that year or two to get out there and say, hey, let's go, come on out and shoot, and you could find yourself right here in this position.
Yeah, I think I feel like I see more ladies shooting the Masters division every year. So I have no doubts that they're going to have more archers in the future.
9.
So again, low for Kaufman. Still might be a bit of those nerves.
And we can see Julie, she shoots so fast too. I think her timing is really fast.
Yeah, you're right. She gets it there. If it's sitting in the middle, she just sends it.
No need to wait.
That's right.
Julie Kaufman, how you doing?
A little nervous. Not gonna lie.
Julie, how many years have you shot the Classic?
This is my third year.
Third year. All right, now for folks who are out there, give them a rundown of what you do for us at Lancaster Archery.
I work in the customer service department. I do take orders, do tech support, and pretty much that's it.
So you shot your qualifying round yesterday, so I guess you got the day off.
No, I worked.
That's what we like to hear.
I worked in between this morning and this afternoon because I needed to get my mind off of everything.
All right, great, Julie. Nice shooting this weekend. We appreciate everything you do for us at Lancaster Archery.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that 100%. You know, let me just work. Let me get on the computer. Let me get on the phone or do something, you know, to put my mind at ease. And
Yeah, you don't want to be thinking about shooting in the finals venue all the time. So
No
I think that was
chance.
good for her.
yeah, there were qualifications done on Thursday. So for those people that did shoot on Thursday, like me, we had all of Friday off because it wasn't until elimination started at 8 o'clock this morning.
11-10 long.
So Denise Shirk coming in there. We can't quite see it, but it looks like it could be an 11. It's right on that line. 10 or an 11.
9.
Yeah, sometimes with Kaufman, you can kind of see maybe the dot isn't quite in the middle, but the shot execution, the timing, sometimes it's just rhythmic, isn't it, Linda?
Yeah, it is. And I mean, I aim forever, so I really like when archers shoot fast, just because I feel like you don't waste time. But sometimes you just have to wait until your dot is in the middle and not moving that much.
The mental struggle. Good shot from Julie. That mental struggle of having it move and then just trusting that it'll break in the right spot. It's definitely something archers struggle with all the time.
Yeah, and sometimes we fight against movement, but sometimes movement is good. You just want to keep it in the yellow, keep it in the 10, and if it moves, it's fine.
Denise Shirk with quite a solid end. Looks like 32.
10.
Good shot from Julie Kaufman. To BJ.
Judges call. Denise, run through your gear for us.
Shooting a Matthews TRX 36, gold tip arrows, Shibuya sight, UV3 scope, dead center rods, a stand, SX3 release, and my gold tip arrows.
Right. Great setup there that you have, Denise. Julie, let's get your rundown as well. What are you shooting?
PSC Super Focus. My Victory VTAC 23s. yeah, my Shrewd RevX stabilizers, Excel Achieve sight with a, I knew this was going to happen.
You want to call tech support?
Yes. Shrewd Essential Scope. That's what I was trying to get at.
And your arrows are?
Victory VTAB.
Victory. All right, great shooting. We have Denise with a 91-86 lead. Going into the final end. The 12 is in play.
Archers are ready. The field is clear. And once again, Denise Shirk on the left part of your screen and Julie Kaufman on the right, with Denise out in a comfortable lead. Great shot by Denise Shirk.
Yeah, I think we can see she's getting used to this venue.
11.
There Julie goes. That's really nice.
Nice shot. Yeah.
Had a lot of confidence in that. It's Julie Kaufman.
8.
You can kind of see on the release, it was like sometimes when you know it's low, you're trying to hold your bow arm up even though the arrow is completely gone. Now you can see there just on her leg, on her front leg is a little pouch, that red pouch with that blue stripe. Now, Linda, you shoot with something similar to that.
Yes, it's my bow holder. I didn't know I didn't think I needed one until I had it. I was like, well, this is awesome. I can put my bow here, and it's great, actually.
Yeah, so she puts that bottom cam of her bow there, and it kind of suspends it in the air while she loads her arrows. So some people will use their thigh, other people, like I know that your husband Steve, myself, we use long stabilizers to the point where we can actually just put it on the stabilizer and load the arrow that way. So again, it just showcases the individuality of archery. I mean, there is no one way to do it. It's all about how you shoot, how you want your process to go. All right, so we're looking at scoring right now. The judge is taking a look at it. Linda, looking at this, judges are taking a look at it with magnifying glass, trying to determine what?
So they're trying to see if that arrow is touching the line, which the line is gone, but they have to imagine the line going and make a decision if the arrow is touching the line or not.
Because if it does touch the line, it gets the higher point value. Until we get to some other, but that's down the road with inside outs and all kinds of tiebreakers and stuff. But in normal archery, that's the way it works. So 123 to 115 for Denise Shirk. For Julie Kaufman, she will finish 4th in this tournament. That should warrant her a nice big bump in pay at Lancaster Archery Supply, as Rob Koffeld now is going to fire me from this job, so I mentioned that. Now, great shooting by Julie Kaufman, and so that means to PJ.
Catherine Papagni from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Catherine will get to choose. She's going to stay right side. Catherine will shoot second. Denise will lead us off.
Our second place qualifier in elimination rounds, Catherine Papagni, onto the stage. And for Catherine, for this Women's Masters Open, after their qualification, which was 660 points, and the amount of elimination rounds they shot, the total points available were 924, and Catherine was able to accumulate 855 of those points, and after eliminations, she sits second. So this is podium finishers right here. One of these archers guaranteed second place if you win this match.
You know, I think it's funny when a new archer gets there, they get to choose which side, which side they want to shoot, and most of them keep moving the archer. Like, okay, I want to shoot there. She didn't, but I wonder if it's because Denise is left-handed. So sometimes that's hard for a right-handed archer. Like, you're not used to see your opponent face to face.
It is. It definitely is a little bit strange. I think a little stranger when you're standing on the line of qualifications and you only have like a foot between you, for sure.
Yeah, that's even worse.
But you know what? What's also at play here is that we do have a camera that's on a rail that's down just in front of the archers that's gently moving back and forth. And the other thing too is, if I think in listening to some archers who showed up and were watching this area, Linda, if you are right-handed and you do have the ability to look at your opponent's screen down at the bottom, or possibly even see that camera moving, I wonder what decision you'd be making. So in terms of positioning, it's an interesting choice for Catherine because she chose to have the littlest amount of distractions possible.
I think I will do the same. I think I will be what she did there, and it will help me stay focused on myself.
Catherine from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, not too far away. How many years have you been shooting the Classic?
Shooting the Classic, I think this is my 7th.
7th year. Okay, so previous to Women's Masters Open, what would you have competed in?
Just Women's Open.
Women's Open. How is it having this new division for your age group?
I kind of like it. Conversations are different. You speak to other women your age, so it's nice. The new division is great.
For the young people out there who are not our age, tell them the struggle's real.
The struggle is definitely real.
All right, Catherine. Great shooting. We have, after the first end, 30-29 advantage for Catherine.
Catherine Papagni. That is quite the conversation piece, isn't it, Linda? Because we do know the difference. And you know that the conversations you're going to have if you end up shooting with primarily men, if you're a woman, or vice versa. Because there was one time, if you remember, NFAA Nationals some years ago, because of my commentary schedule, I actually got to shoot.
You got to shoot with us.
With the women. And the conversation was very different. Now when you talk about splitting these women up into their age category, I know from shooting in the Masters division on the men's side that conversations are different.
Completely different.
Yeah, and you know, on the when you shoot with on the men's side with younger shooters, they're talking about golf or they're talking about archery. They're when you get up to the older groups, you're talking about aches and pains and doctor bills and crazy things. It's pretty funny. Denise Shirk, first to shoot.
That's a 6. Something must have happened there. I didn't get to see what happened.
Well, I mean, her shot looked solid.
It did.
So Papagni in with a 9. Now it's up to Denise Shirk to just let that 6 go.
And she did.
Great answer.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's awesome. You just have to keep going. And honestly, 4 points is not as much as a big of a difference. So you just have to keep trying, keep fighting.
Just like you're saying, right there is a 2-point swing.
Mhm. Everything can change in one end, so you just have to keep pushing hard. Another 7. I wonder if the nerves is getting her.
Yeah, it's for Denise, she'd been shooting really strong, so
She was.
good for Papagni.
Let's get a rundown on Catherine's equipment. Tell us about your bow and everything you're shooting today.
This is the PSE Performx 3D, Black Eagle PS27 arrows, AAE bars, Sweet Spot, America's Best Bowstring strings, Elevation quiver.
What's your sight?
It's a Sherlock. It's an antique. So, but I love it. So.
All right, perfect. Looks like it's working for you. Catherine holds a 58-53 lead. In your third.
And for Catherine Papagni, you know, she talks about people that are here in attendance, and she talks about her whole PSE family. And part of the reason that she loves archery so much is just the people that are in the sport and getting to meet new people.
I think that's awesome. I think when we didn't have tournaments in 2020, it was just hard on everyone because we're just used to see each other and used to talk to our friends, and it was a hard year for sure.
And two, when you come to tournaments like this and you run into people like Linda Ochoa Anderson and you're an amateur shooter, one of the greatest things is there's a pavilion area where, you know, booths are set up, and the accessibility to professional archers to learn more and just to talk to them about some of the things they've done is awesome. It's definitely something you should put on your bucket list coming to the Lancaster Archery Classic. So Denise Shirk trying to find some rhythm as this possibility of second place is starting to slip away.
11.
Papagni with a great shot. Definitely a nice adjustment on that top target for her.
I think it's hard to come back after a couple of bad arrows. It's always hard, but you just have to keep trying.
And we can see too that in her coach's box for Denise Shirk is her boyfriend Joe, and so he's just giving her words of encouragement, just telling her hang in there. A lot of times you'll hear archers talk about one arrow at a time. Get lost in your process of executing your shot.
11.
There you go.
There you go.
12-year shooter, Papagni, enjoying this one for sure. So for Papagni, it looks like a 31 for that end. If you're just joining us, you're looking at that target, that 1.5 centimeter dot that's sitting in in the middle of the red. For this final shoot up, that is an option. That is a 12 option. Archer has to call it. They're allowed one call per end. We've only seen it happen once so far today. We're still early. There's so much shooting to come for the 2020 Lancaster Archery Classic. From Spooky Nook Sports Complex. Tongue twister here in Manheim, Pennsylvania.
Scores are official now. Catherine with an 89-81 lead.
So 89-81 the lead for Catherine Papagni. Denise Shirk will shoot first. Settling into her shot. See how she responds coming after that 11. Not a wild shot, just a little bit to the left. I just had a smile looking at Catherine Papagni's scope and sight. Just looking at the sight. She called it a dinosaur. Still quality Sherlock sight. Especially for indoor. You know, when you shoot field and you're moving that thing up and down all day long, sometimes the latest and greatest always helps. But for indoor, if you have a sight that can lock itself into position, if you find a good mark, you're in good shape.
That will work. She looks so strong. I think she's taking that gap of advantage for her, and she's working on her confidence, and it's working for her.
Which, of course, advancing into the next round, Catherine Papagni is going to go against our #1 qualifier. So it's about staying strong and building this confidence after this warm-up and experience here in the final shoot-up area. And finishing off with a 32 is good. Also for Shirk, But she's going to exit the stage. Finishing off with a couple 11s is great as well.
Excellent finish there, ladies.
Officials down at the targets, double checking those scores as we wait to hear about the official word. And on those arrow calls that are nice and clear, the officials definitively just give it a nice call. If there's any question, they can take a closer look. So for Denise Shirk, her journey ends here, and she'll be credited with third place.
Let's hear it for Denise Shirk, our third place
So Denise Shirk,
She takes home $350.
she'll take home $350 in the Women's Masters Open category.
Thanks for coming out.
Great opportunity for these women to shoot against each other and have
All right,
different
let's bring
conversations.
out our first place qualifier. We've got Lori Burnett from Canal Fulton, Ohio. Lori will have the choice on where she wants to shoot and when.
Lori Burnett's been shooting 8 years in archery, and you know there's quite a lot of us, Linda, that have discovered archery later on in life. You know, maybe when things have settled down, kids are out of the house, or it's just time for a new hobby. How long have you actually been shooting? How long have you been interested in archery?
I've been shooting for about 20 years.
Oh, so since when you're 1 year old?
Well, I'm quite older than that. But yeah, I think that's what's great about archery is for everyone, and it doesn't matter how old you are, you can be a good archer, and I think it's amazing. Not a lot of sports have this, so I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, North Carolina, 2 years ago, I was on the line shooting with someone in a local tournament that was 97 years old.
Yeah, I think that's amazing.
So our first look at Lori Burnett out of Ohio. She'll start us off with a 9. Now Catherine Papagni.
10.
And if you didn't see that, Lori Burnett moved Papagni off her spot.
Yep, she did pick the one on the right, so I will do the same, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's a good strategy. If not, just for your own, your own
Yes.
mental acuity, I think.
I agree. I think they both archers look so strong. She didn't like that one that
Yeah.
much, but I think like Lori's form looks so good. I really like how she looks shooting.
11.
You two have a similar elbow lockout holding the bow style,
Maybe
Linda.
that's why I'm saying that.
Yeah, and really looking at Lori's form there, I was like, hey, wait a second. I've seen that elbow before.
11 to 10 line.
That was a toughie, that last arrow for Papagni, but
Lori, I saw you've been shooting for 8 years.
Yes.
That's the first time you picked up a bow 8 years ago.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Why did you pick it up?
My husband had been in archery since he was 9, and then he retired from bodybuilding because of health reasons, and we both decided to get into archery. So actually, he got into it and then talked me into it.
Nice. Are you glad he talked you into it?
Obviously, yes.
So from Ohio, have you been to the Classic before?
Yes. This is, I think, my 7th year.
Oh, okay. Out of 8 years. Hey, that's a good record.
I made the top 8 the year they had the blizzard and didn't get to shoot.
Oh, gosh. All right, well, we certainly appreciate you coming out to the Classic every year. It looks like things are going well for you this week.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, first...
looks like a little redemption for Lori Burnett, you know, from the blizzard year a couple of years ago where it broke the hearts of everyone here at the Lancaster Archery Classic to have to shut that one down. But you were here for that one, weren't you?
I was here. That was a rough year. I actually qualified 4, so I got to shoot in the finals, but it was a tough year for everyone.
There's a lot of snow that year. So, again, Linda, you and I have talked many times off camera about the accessibility of archery and how great it is, and you can pick it up later on in life. And You know, the one thing is that if you are a person who's participated in a competitive sport before, but, you know, whether it's age or physical limitations have you know, basically said, look, you can no longer compete in that sport, archery's always here for you, isn't it?
Archery is always there, and I think it's amazing. It doesn't matter if you're tall or not that tall. Like, it doesn't matter. You can still shoot really good scores, and I just love that, especially for the young ones. That maybe they're not that fast or they don't play basketball that great, but there's archery, you know, and you can just go there and kill it.
And Papagni right now is having a great run at it.
9.
So Burnett sends one a little high. She looks back in her coach's box and gives the old, what was that, nod?
It's always nice to have someone behind you, you know, just for comfort, you know, it helps.
11.
Well, that worked out, yeah, that worked out for Catherine. It was a long hold, and I could see the shot starting to break down towards the end, but she held firm, was able to execute.
Lori, let's run through your bow setup. Tell me about what you got there.
I am running Joey's bowstrings, and I have the Black Eagle 27s, along with the Smackdown Conquest rods, and I have the Excel sight, and I'm doing the True Ball Fulcrum release.
PSE Eve.
Evoke 35.
All right, seems to be working for you this weekend, Lori. 62-60. Advantage for Lori.
So Lori leads this one 62-60 as we head off into our third end of 4 in this shoot-up final. Lori Burnett, out of 924 points available to score this weekend, came out with 867 to be our #1 qualifier in this shoot-up. So impressive shooting in the Women's Masters Open, which is a 50-plus category. 50, Linda, means age, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
10-9.
We had the wrong target there.
Yeah, no big deal. 10-9 line was the call. Catherine Papagni.
10.
Again, boy, you can really see it when she lets us know she wasn't happy with her shot.
Yeah, I think you can tell.
There's that little bit of English, we call it, right? It's that little bit of movement after the shot.
I mean, try to push it in.
Yeah. When we know the arrow's long gone, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we still do it.
So a solid 30 points for Burnett, but keep in mind the X ring in the middle, or the little ring in the middle, is worth 11 points. So an opportunity here for Papagni.
9.
Unfortunately went the opposite direction. So 9 points. Take her to 29. So Burnett with another point advantage will take her to a 3-point lead before official scoring, of course. As we take a look at the targets, we know from our vantage point, Linda, what's amazing is that when you get to this center stage and you're shooting, everything is heightened, isn't it? So both ladies having to grab a sip of water. And normally, I mean, how many arrows do you shoot in the basement at home where you're not sipping water, right? But here, it's just everything is amplified, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And we're just trying to, I mean, maybe we shoot less arrows in competition, but I always feel tired. I always feel more tired than when I practice at home, and it's just that I get nervous and anxious and all that. So we just need to stay hydrated and do the best we can to stay in our best.
This course is compound archery. If you're watching this for the first time, there's recurve style archery, which is bare bow, Olympic recurve, and the approach is definitely different. The physicality of a recurve bow is different from a compound, but compounds have a different mental length to it with aiming Because sometimes, like, do you know what the length is of your hold generally? 7 seconds, 8
I think it's
seconds?
around 7, 8, yeah.
7, 8 seconds. Doesn't sound like a lot, but when you are shooting 60 arrows, it's a lot of intense aiming, and it's a lot of intensity on the brain.
It's a lot, and I've actually been trying to make that shorter. Everybody's hard. You're just used to it.
Yeah, especially with your rhythm. Lori sends it up to the 9, just above that 10 ring after starting off with a solid 11.
This is where Catherine needs to shoot those 11s.
Started off strong. Still solid on the 10 ring, but it's one of those situations where you just feel like there are points sitting on the table. Can you go get them?
Definitely.
Especially with Lori coming at it with a... It's going to be a 30.
Oh, something happened. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I wasn't watching the shooter, but still plenty of time. There's 13 seconds on the clock. She hit the button, so you can see she's going for the 12
she's
ring.
going for the
Look
12
underneath,
ring.
yeah, underneath the thing. She hit the button. She called it,
She
and
got
she drilled it.
How
She got it.
awesome is that?
And the crowd explodes.
That's amazing.
Papagni has a good chuckle.
I'm telling you, it's hard to shoot at that one. It's really hard. So
Great shot, Catherine.
Great shot by Catherine Papagni. She hits the button, turns the light on, and goes after that 12 ring. And that's what we love to see.
that was so cool to watch.
Just staring down that 12 ring. Hey, a little release right there as the crowd exploded, and that's what people have wanted to see. So with that shot too, Catherine Papagni really starts to set the stage and the mindset for the archers that are going to be coming up later today and especially tomorrow, because when we get to those pro categories, these matches could be so tight that 12 ring's going to be a big deal. And that is exactly why the 12 is there. So that shot ties us all up at 122 to 122.
How cool was that? That was awesome.
Which means we are going to the tiebreaker. Now, currently, judges explain the tiebreaker, but we'll explain it for you. The first arrow, so they'll shoot individually. The first arrow is going to be the highest score will automatically win. If they shoot the same score, we're going to go to a second scoring arrow. If they're tied there, we go to a third arrow, which will be closest to the center. So it looks like that the first one to shoot is going to be Lori Burnett.
Yeah, she needs a strong arrow here to put the pressure on Catherine. That's
An
a good
11.
arrow.
All right, so an 11 to continue this to another arrow. Anything lower than that, and the win goes to Burnett.
Another 11.
Oh,
I love these matches. I love the close match. As long as it's not me, right? But it's just so cool to watch.
Women's Masters Open. Catherine Papagni, your second place qualifier, who had to shoot her way to shoot against Lori Burnett, your number one qualifier. In sudden death, 12 ring call to tie this match. Now we're in a tiebreaker, and both archers equaled themselves with an 11. We're going to a second scoring arrow. The highest score wins. Another tie takes us closest to the center.
This arrow is for score as well.
So if they shoot the same score here,
We go
then
to
we go to a third arrow.
Correct. Lori Burnett to put the pressure on Catherine Papagni.
9.
Doors open. Could it be our first 12 that propels her to a win?
10.
And she does it.
It paid
Catherine
off.
Papagni, it paid off shooting for that 12.
Let's hear it for these ladies.
and she wins. She's asking, is it over? Is it over? Yes, it is. It is over, and you are the champion. Wow.
That was amazing.
What a match in the Women's Masters Open, 50 plus. I can't wait to get Catherine Papagni on the headsets. Let's listen to PJ.
That feels incredible. Yeah, that's a very, very good feeling.
That's that 12. I mean, that's why we put it in play. Otherwise, you'd have been 1 point down. How confident did you feel?
With the 12?
Yes.
Yeah, I had that all the way. Yeah, 100. So
That's the way to play it.
yeah. Thank you very much.
All right, Catherine, congratulations. Women's Masters Open. Great finish.
That takes the breath out of you, huh?
It does.
All that excitement.
It does.
Well, when you're shooting at your local range or at your house, there certainly isn't a bunch of people here cheering for you, especially after drilling that 12, as we wait for Catherine Papagni to get the headset on, because I have some other questions for her that PJ didn't have a chance to ask her. And of course, here, if you're live, you're not hearing what you're hearing on the feed. So a second opportunity. Well, Catherine, congratulations.
Thank
What
you.
an outstanding match for you. And tell us how you felt from beginning to end.
That was probably the hardest thing I've ever done in archery. Yeah, definitely very different shooting on the big stage. You can shoot, solidly, and you get up there and they don't always hit where you want to hit because you're shaking so hard, but it worked out in the end.
Did you get your hands on these targets to practice on at home? Did you practice the 12?
I did. I ordered 20 of them in advance, and I actually did practice on the 12. And I did have to shoot the 12 in a shoot-up prior to this one. So I had to hit it once before in a shoot-up. But I never dreamed I would have to hit that red button today. So.
Well, tell me about that final arrow. I mean, did you know what Lori had shot? You knew that it was in the 9 ring, or did you stay focused?
I tried to stay focused, but, I was shaken. I got to say, this was definitely a challenge, and it was amazing. I mean, Lori's an amazing competitor, and she shot a, great game, and I'm just really, really blessed that I made it this far.
Well,
So-
Catherine Papagni, and I said that right,
You
right?
said it perfectly, yes.
Absolutely. Thanks for that on the card. Congratulations. You're the Women's Masters Open champion.
Thank you.
It was awesome shooting.
Thanks so much.
All right. So congratulations to her, and my thanks to Linda Choi Anderson for joining me for a couple of matches. It was great having you here. Linda, what did you think about the shooting?
Thank you for having me here. I think it was amazing. We get to see this as an spectator, but being here, it's really cool.
All right, more coming at you from the 2022 Lancaster Archery Classic. Stay tuned.